Hey everybody, it's Big Hate himself, Stub Marshall. And guess what? You're gonna have to park on the street because you're watching Johnny's Garage. Rev that thing up, let's go.
Hey, check it out, Frankie Valentine. Full throttle Frankie Valentine, hanging out here at Johnny's Garage. Keep your eyes peeled on what's coming on because there's no telling what you're gonna see. See you there.
Everybody out there that's going to be watching this know that the man sitting on the bottom of the screen is the man who came up with our theme music. This is the man of Power Trip. Used to be a band before it was a wrestling tag team.
Yes, sir.
Now tell us a little bit about your music, because everybody's loving the music.
Well, I played in the same band for 30 years. We've ran our course, but this is the last stuff that we recorded, and I still have 6 songs to finish up and mix and dial in and make them pretty, you know what I mean? So we're the funny thing is the guitar player in the music is actually my youngest son.
Okay.
So he's going to come over. We're going to finish it all out. So it's all finished and polished and all that stuff. But yeah, dude, I've been playing music since I was 13. I started out as a bass player, started playing some rhythm guitar, doing background vocals. Then I got into a band when I was probably 20. And they were looking for a singer. And I just went in. I was like, hey, let's see what you got. And I started singing with them, and it started getting pretty big. We had a song. It was called Leprechaun Man. That got really big in the area up here. And after a couple of years with those guys, I left them and I started Power Trip. And from then on, we jammed and we traveled and we played in front of 50 and we played in front of 30,000. So you can go either way with it. You know what I mean? So between
sounds like a wrestling show.
yeah, between wrestling and music, it's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? It's all about being a showman and being out there and doing what you do. You know what I mean? And so now it's like I don't know what to do with myself. I'm going to do some recording. I got some writing to do. I got some songs in my head that I need to get out, because if not, that shit will drive me nuts. I'll be humming just all day long, humming riffs and humming this. And I'm like, man, I need to do something with that. I need to record it. Or I got notebooks with full of lyrics, that because I jot stuff down. I'll come up with some cool line and I'll be like, oh yeah. And I'll write that down. And then a couple months later, I'll see it and I'll go, oh. And then I'll end up writing a whole damn song out of it, off of that one line that I read, and I'm like, it's work, man. It's always work. I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, look, I'm like a shark. If I stop swimming, I'm gonna die, man. I'll fall apart and die.
Well, when you sent me a song, I'll be honest with you, I've heard some of your stuff. Now you doing your covers and all that, yeah, I've heard the songs, but I heard some of your stuff, and to be honest, I can't stand that growl shit. But when I heard this, when you said listen to it, so I said, okay, I'll listen to it. Man, that stuff just kicked.
Yeah.
It had a little bit of the growl, but it had everything. It wasn't just yelling into the microphone like some of them are.
Oh yeah, oh, absolutely.
You had the whole flow with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much, Power Trip had always been that way. We always tried to incorporate a little bit of everything into because heavy metal in the world itself has more subgenres than any other music in the world.
Ain't that the truth?
It's the truth. And I'm like, I like certain things from certain parts of different styles of metal, you know, and I'm like, well, I'd like to work some of that in, or I'd like to work some of this. And, you know, the stuff I listen to is heavy as hell. I mean, one of my favorite bands is a band called Slaughter to Prevail. And they got this guy called Alex Terrible doing vocals. I ain't never heard nobody go that low. It's just low. I mean, you know, and I'm like, that kind of stuff, you know, the new bands that come out, that inspires me. I'm like, oh shit, man, that's badass. I'm gonna try to do something like that. I'm gonna try, I'll take this piece of this, and I'll take this piece of this, and I'm gonna work that in, you know. And so once I started doing vocals, man, I just kind of went a little hate shit and said, hey, I got a decent range, and I can get low and get growly, I can scream, I can sing. Let's do this shit, you know.
Well, see, I like a lot of rhythm with my music, and I like hearing the music. I just, some of the stuff, that death metal, like that they play over in the wherever, that Switzerland or Netherlands or wherever that is, the black metal.
Black metal.
I cannot, and I think if I'm not mistaken, watching all the series, there's like 130 different subgenres in the metal world.
Yep. Yeah.
But one of my favorite bands is Iron Maiden. I like that rhythm, the hard driving, and that song. That's what kicked me for me, is that song has that hard driving.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the Netherlands. One of my favorite bands over there is Lordy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lordy, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a straight gimmick. That's a straight damn gimmick, but they jam.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, if it sells albums, that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish I could say, hey, I sold fucking 10 million copies of an album, you know, but shit happens, you know.
It's going to happen, man. This show's going to catch on, and everybody's going to go buy the cover music.
Hey, man,
and there it is, man. It's going to happen.
Keep on. I'm just going to keep doing what I do, man. Keep putting it out there and just let people enjoy it themselves, you know.
Who was Power Trip? I know Izzy was there.
Yeah, Izzy at the beginning. Izzy played with us for a lot of years. He was our keyboard player. Mike Rach was our bass player. I had a lot of guitar players. The last two that I had was Mike Lee. He moved to Seattle, and then my youngest boy Talon. He played guitars for us at the last, and our drummer was Phil Caldwell. So yeah. Being together that long, I mean, we did a lot together, you know. We did a lot of traveling together, and it just there towards the end, it was almost like a habit. You know what I mean? Just to be together and play.
Yeah.
And but felt that we were getting stale with each other, you know. So
going through the motions.
Yeah. So
it's like working the same guy too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
You just start going through the motions. Yeah.
So we just kind of figured, you know, we thought it ran its course and we were done playing with it, you know. But now I got all this shit recorded. Still, like I said, I got like 6 songs still that are unfinished. So I'm gonna finish them. Me and my son is gonna finish them. And he's like, hey, I want to do all new drum tracks to everything. See, he doesn't just play guitar, he can play drums. He's like a multifaceted musician. If you put an instrument in his hand, he'll figure out how to play it.
He'll always have a job.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let's do it then, you know. So he's been over here a couple times playing a little, getting his drums dialed in and all that good stuff. So we'll see.
That's going to keep you young.
Hey, that's what I hope, man. That's all I can hope.
That's
do me a favor. When you get that thing knocked out, send it to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm hard and heavy too. I am. I'll be going to a Zombie concert here in a couple of weeks.
Dude, you say Rob Zombie? That's funny because I just went and seen Five Finger Death Punch, and Marilyn Manson and Slaughter to Prevail and a band called The Funeral Portrait. And man, it was actually a really good show. And I am not a fan of Manson, but he did a fucking kick-ass job. It was really good. And Five Finger Death Punch, man, they put on a hell of a show. They had a hell of a light show. And it was really, really good, man. I was impressed. I really was. I was like, holy shit. All right.
I hate to say this, but the best on stage performance I've seen, and I'm a huge Metallica fan. I've been to their show and I love their on stage, but as far as winning the crowd and getting the crowd, Ted Nugent, man.
Oh,
That
that's
guy
Sweaty
is
Teddy.
super electric, man. He will pull his audience, dude.
Well, you had mentioned Iron Maiden too earlier, and I was a Maiden head from the get go. You know, from
I know it, man.
from when Adonis was singing for him all the way, you know, and then Bruce joined him, and it just took off from there. You know, and of all bands, all the concerts I've ever seen, and I've seen probably, I'm gonna say, probably about 1,200 concerts. Iron Maiden, I've seen 7 times. Every time they sound just like the fucking album, and they are loud as hell.
Well, let me tell you, I am planning on taking a road trip in November. They're going to be in Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
And I am planning, I told my son there is a few bands. My son does not like concerts. He goes to a few with me. Told him there's a few bands I want you to see. Iron Maiden is one of them before they quit.
Yeah.
AC/DC if they come around and do a festival.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 400 miles away and tickets are $400. I'm just going to drive and spend it.
It's worth it. It'd be worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, but I plan on taking him to Charlotte if nothing goes wrong.
Right on. Right on.
I'm definitely going to catch AC/DC if they come around.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to my woman. I want to go to the Wacken Open Air Fest over in Germany. It's just an all metal festival. It's like 4 days long, and every major metal band in the world is at this damn thing. And I've been wanting to go for probably 15 years, but now I actually kind of have the means to be able to go. And now I'm like, oh, I think I need to start looking into that and booking into that and doing
Go ahead and get your passport. Get to work on that first.
Yeah, that's the first thing. I was like, but then
All right, so we're
wrote
talking about stuff. I want to get in on this because Harsh and myself had a little bit of history when we were up there doing the thing, and I wasn't there but a moment. But we did some really good stuff in there.
Yeah.
But one night in particular that me and Harsh are doing to do. You want to stop this to start another one?
No, I have an interesting video.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is this one of the 2 nights that we're talking about?
I don't know.
Because he's gonna have PTSD tonight after seeing these.
All right.
They're both on the same video, so I'll just play both of them through, and then I know one of them what you're going to talk about.
All right.
Let me share my screen. All right, can y'all see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
All right.
God, that guy looks familiar.
Damn, he sure does.
You know which night this is, Harsh?
Is this the night he power bombs me?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Oh my God. Hey, you know, Ro, you're the first and only guy to ever pick me up and power bomb me like that.
I wonder why.
Because when you called it, and I just kind of was like, "Fuck, do it, bro."
I didn't call that. No, that's the thing, though. I didn't call it. That's why I was wanting to talk about it.
You didn't call it. I swear to God, you said power bomb, and I was like,
no, I didn't call that. I'm gonna tell you how I didn't call it. All right. What's the next one, Bo?
Okay, here. I want you to listen to this, Harsh. Listen to this chop. That's Chad.
Oh God, this is Eddie. Oh my God, this is Eddie.
Oh.
I remember that one very well too.
Yeah, boy.
Never forget that one. When I hit Eddie with that, Harsh was with him.
Yeah.
And he immediately turned and looked me in the eye and said, "You ain't got one of those for me, do you?"
It sounded like a damn shotgun going off.
That video
Almost.
clip did no justice for it. It sounded like you said a shotgun.
Yeah.
I'm peeking through the curtain and I said, ooh, I shut the curtain.
What makes
Oh.
you go, oh.
I never, ever let a sucker punch go unpunished in my whole career, right? Chad sucker punched me that night. He made a mistake. He made
He
a
got a
crazy mistake.
receipt. He got his receipt for it.
And so, but the power bomb, I didn't call that power bomb, right? What happened was during the course of our match, the audience started chanting power bomb.
Power bomb.
That's what it
And
was.
they just kept chanting it over Bogey. I lost horse somewhere or another when you did that.
Click your screen. There you go.
There it is. I got it. Okay. So the audience is chanting power bomb. And we're separated. There's a mile of ring between us.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget Harsh. We're both hearing the same chant. And Harsh turns to me and he's actually got a smile on his face as he's turning until we locked eyes. When he seen the look on my face, he was like, here we go, you know. And but yeah, that was a great night. We had such good audiences
Yeah,
back then.
they were all definitely on fire, loud. I love it.
And that camera did it no justice because you're up in the air doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could have seen his eyes from my point of view, when I got him up, then my eyes there. And I didn't just give you a power bomb. I switched the elbow drop on the inside of that one too, which was one of my signature moves. Was coming in with the power bomb across the lower region with our elbow with it, accompanied with it. And but yeah, that was a fun night.
Yeah,
we had some really classic battles back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. People today, man, they don't understand how to tell a story like that, you know?
No.
I'm just like, I get in the ring with these young guys, want to do 1,000 moves to me, and I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and try it. You go ahead and try that shit.
Man, I would tell, why in the hell, if I'll tell these kids, if I can catch you by your pinky finger, if I can just get a hold of that pinky finger, if I can beat you holding on to your pinky finger, why would I grab your hand?
Yep.
You know, what is the point of doing something else if I can beat you with that?
Yeah.
And, you know, so I've been told the whole time of how not difficult it was to work with me, but how hard it was to work with me because I didn't do a lot of bullshit. I was straightforward. I was hard hitting, but I expected to get hit hard.
Yeah.
And I preferred to get hit hard. And so, but the stories we told were the ones where the audience would look and go, "Oh my God, they're fighting."
Yep.
You know, oh, look at this.
Absolutely.
They're kicking ass, you know.
And you got invested in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To get them all the way invested.
Yeah,
I loved
all the way.
Loved it.
Hell yeah. That's the whole point of the whole damn thing. That's what I keep
Yeah.
trying to tell everybody. I'm like, you want them to be invested. You don't want them, you know, an audience only remembers certain pieces of a match. They don't remember the whole match. They remember that 30 seconds. That 30
Well, they
seconds.
will remember the thing that made them hurt.
Yeah.
The shot that they felt.
Where they twinged
Yeah.
and they went, God
They
damn
will
it.
always remember that.
Yeah.
I was always told they're going to remember two things, the start and the finish.
Yeah.
In the middle, they're going to forget all of that if your beginning and your ending was that good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's why we would take the middle of the match to build the story.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
that's where we would put the filler in. That's where we would torture. That's where we would get the audience to beg, you know, and then bring it up to an uproar. You just keep building it up until you get it to the top.
Yep.
And then one way or the other, you're either going to make them really, really happy or you're going to make them really, really mad.
Piss them off. Yeah. Piss them off.
The only thing about Chad shows I didn't like, we only had one building that had beautiful lighting.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
know
tell
it.
you, I wish we could have got some better video on a lot of that stuff because let's jump back into the wrestling. Who is your partner now?
My partner is Damian Blackwell, Izzy's son,
Okay,
Oh,
what
wow.
what do they call him? The third generation monster?
the third generation monster. You know?
Who is
The
the other
biggest
two
Izzy?
generations?
You have Jerry Blackwell and Izzy Blackwell, and then it comes to Damian.
Okay.
So is he as big as Izzy?
No, he's taller than Izzy was. He's about 6'3", 6'4".
He's not much shorter than Harsh.
Yeah, and he actually is in better shape now that since I've brought him under here my wing and pulled him over to me. He's in better shape now. He dropped about, I'm gonna say about 35 pounds or so. And he says, I feel better. I feel like I can move better. I can breathe better. He goes, I just feel better.
You
I'm
find that weight.
Yeah.
Like-
I said, I told him it was just baby weight. That's what I told him. Because it's crazy because, we go in these locker rooms and usually I'm the oldest guy and he's the youngest guy, and but we're the tag team partners, and I'm just like, it kind of blew me away whenever it kind of just all fell in my lap is what happened. When Izzy passed away, I wasn't going to come back to wrestling, but Lenny, our promoter, Lenny Mephisto, he bugged me for a year to come back, and then Izzy had passed, and he put on a memorial show for Izzy, and he had called me and he said, "Hey man, I'm gonna do this show. Would you be interested in actually working the show?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do you want from me?" And he says, "Well," he goes, "you're going to work two guys you've worked." And I was like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "But I want Damian to be your tag partner." I was like, "Huh." And I said, "Well, give me a week and I'll let you know." And I thought about it and I was just like, you know what? Hell with it. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. So we went and did this show and we worked the Beast and Joker and just went all out, balls to the wall, got crazy. And after the show, I was standing backstage and the lady comes up to me and he goes, "How do you feel, man?" He goes, "I know you went through a door and you got hit with the chair a few times and all that." And he goes, "How do you feel?" And I just looked at him and I was like, "I feel fucking great." And he was like, "Oh, that's the bug right there. That's the bug." And bigger than shit. And I was like, "Yeah, I want to do it, man. Let's do this." And then next thing I know, he's like, "Hey, I think we ought to bring Damian in and have him be your tag team partner and fire Power Trip back up again." Because I think Izzy'd want that, And I thought so too, I was like, yeah, I want to help Damian, because I seen where he was working and the people he was working with. And what they were doing with him and what they were showing him, they were working him like he was a 160-pound guy, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, why do you let him get over? Why are you letting that little 150-pound guy get over on you when you're a monster? You're fucking 250 pounds, 6'3". You're gonna let this 150-pound guy throw you around. Why? And that was the end of that. Once I pulled him away from there, it was different. He just like a sponge, man. He sucks up all the information you can throw at him, and he retains it. That's the biggest thing, the retention.
Yeah.
Well, I watched a lot of his singles, and he's out there kicking butt.
Yeah, he is.
He's out there. When I saw some of his beginning stuff that I had, he looked good, but he looked horrible.
Yeah.
Like we all did.
Oh yeah. It was almost like he was almost scared to lay stuff in a little bit, work a little tighter.
Right.
I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, you got it. Look, if they can't handle you working a little tight, a little snug with them, they probably shouldn't be in the ring anyway. And he was like, I said, because I like to work snug because it helps me sell the product. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you don't touch me, you throw a punch and I don't see it coming and I don't feel it, I'm gonna no sell you, and you're gonna be pissed off because I no sold you.
You would have hated working some of the people that worked. Let me tell you, one of the biggest names I ever worked, Terry Gordy. You know who that is, right?
Oh yeah, I know Barry.
When he touched you, it was like the breeze blowing. You didn't feel nothing.
Yep.
But that was my aha moment in wrestling. I had him in a headlock, and he made me loosen up, thinking I was choking him.
Yeah.
But when he threw the punch at you, you didn't feel it.
No. You had to
Well,
pay
of course,
attention.
Death Row, on the other hand, he got shot on by Terry.
Of course I did, because I was shooting on him. And he loved it. He absolutely loved it. I went out there shooting. Look, it was so bad. The whole locker room was pissed at me because I go out there shooting on Terry Gordy, right? I get back to the locker room and they're lining up, getting ready to come over and do something about me being so disrespectful to a legend. And finally, I got pissed. I stood up and I said, "You want it? You got it. Y'all come on," And Terry walks into the locker room, throws a finger over at me, and he goes, "Brother, love you. Anytime, any place, love you." And they're all looking all confused and stuff. But Terry's reputation was so big and so bold that they were scared to death to go in there and work him. And so I made up my mind before I went out there that I was gonna work him, and I was gonna treat him just like I treat everybody else. And so we go out there and go for it. But I will promise you this: he shot a Japanese leg lock on me, 100% shot it on me, dude, and it hurt. Oh my God, it hurt. And I got out of it like immediately. I'm like, I'm not staying in this, right?
Took that and said, I'm out of here.
I get out of the hole, and Terry was sitting on his ass in the middle of the ring. He looks up at me and he goes, "Damn it, brother." And that's when I realized why he was shooting on me. I had run his wheels off. He was out of gas, and he was trying to shut me down so he could breathe.
You just suck some air, man.
Well, we get back to the locker room. He's talking about the people in the locker room. Terry had a guy that drove him around because all the medical stuff that he had. The guy said, "Man, that was the best I've seen him look in years."
Yeah. I made a laugh with Terry. I started getting phone calls of people going, "Terry, I just talked to Terry and he said that to book you." And so I started going all over the place with Terry because of that, because I worked him, but I'll tell you what, he taught me something. I want to throw this in here. This is a Terry story for real. Terry Bam Bam Gordy, we went Broadway in a show one night. They call it Broadway. And when we went Broadway, we went into the audience with it. And for Terry, Broadway meant the show's over, the fight begins. And this son of a gun hit me as hard as I've ever been hit in my life. And lightning shot out of my ass, dude. I mean, he caught me right in the base of my neck. And it run all the way down my damn spinal column. And I just stepped up and hit him back, and he didn't even sell it. He just threw another punch. And we went so hard. Robert Gibson's nephew, Jason, that was running tag with Rock and Roll Express, Jason come in and tried to pull us apart, and we scared Jason so bad that he run to the locker room begging Robert to stop it. But we went Broadway and we went wide open, and so he taught me something that night was if you're going Broadway, you got to fight it out. You've got to throw the match out the window, and you got to go in order to sell it to the audience.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Oh yeah.
But Izzy and all them guys, they had some great work, but you never could see it because the cameras were so dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it. I remember watching the rodeo arena, the horse arena shows, and it's like the lighting in the building was great everywhere except in the ring.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. If you were outside of the ring, you could see everything, but if you were in the ring, it was muddled.
Yeah.
Were you at that rodeo arena show, Harsh?
No, I had seen the video of it, and I said the same thing. It was like you could see everything outside the ring, but everything inside the ring was just kind of gray.
Yeah, the camera was set like somebody was in the stands filming it instead of being up close.
Right, right. Yeah, we that's the one thing I do like about technology nowadays too, is you could film from anywhere. Like last night, they had cameras on the ring posts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't wait to see the footage.
Yeah.
I'm like, that'd be cool. I want to see the footage now.
Now, my question is, if it's anything like the old days, was the first statement in the locker room, if anybody touches these cameras,
Your asses are paying for
Yeah, I've heard that one a few times.
them.
let me tell you, they always said, watch out for the lighting, watch out for this. And my statement started to be, why the hell are they there?
Yep.
Yeah, mine's in the way.
Yeah, it shouldn't be close enough for me to get a hold of it.
It's not like I'm going to go grab this stuff and hit somebody, but feet and things flying, you can't stop that.
Yeah, it's hard to control that, really is.
It is. It is. Oh, I've tore down more than one set in my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I broke stuff I shouldn't have broke. Chairs.
Yeah.
I smashed chairs with the leg hitting it, smashed through it. They get all mad. You gotta pay for that chair.
Well, you and Izzy spent half your career trying to kill Chad.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you almost
Good thing we love him, you know what I mean? Because if we didn't love him, he'd probably already be dead.
Now, a lot of people don't know about that clip that we talked about on the phone the other night.
Yeah.
So, Death Row, why
that
don't you
was ugly. That
both
was
talk
ugly.
about that?
It was fucking really ugly, bud.
Everybody wants to know the real side of wrestling. This was real.
Yeah, it was definitely real, man. We worked, it was a three-way dance. It was myself, Fast Eddie at the time, Chad, and B.A. Bass. And they were both heel. I was running face. Anything goes. We did 35 minutes before the home spot was even thought about being called. The home spot, had Chad laid BA out on a table outside the ring. Comes in, they had me beat down. He comes in like he's going to come off the top. I cut him off, pick him up for the awesome bomb over the top onto BA Bass. But when I went to throw him, his legs just drug up my back. I could feel it, just his boots hooking my shirt and everything. And
Yeah.
he went out over the ropes and he went straight to the concrete floor.
On the back of his
5-gallon
head.
bucket, bud. It sounded like a 5-gallon bucket getting hit with a stick. It was just boom. And I was like, oh shit.
I killed Eddie.
Yeah, I said I killed it. So I rolled out of the ring, got over top of him. I said, what's wrong? I didn't even say, are you okay? I said, what's wrong? And he's laying over with his eyes open. He says, I can't see. And I said, yeah, I said, don't you fucking move. And I grabbed Bass off the table, threw him into the ring, hit my finish, and that crowd was dead silent. There was
Oh yeah.
right. So I instantly went straight to back. Luckily, we always had police presence at those shows. And he called the ambulance like immediately. That ambulance was there in 3 minutes, man. 3 minutes. By the time they got here, Chad was up, moving, but he was screaming and hollering, and I felt so damn bad, bro. I literally at that point, that was like the first time anything really bad had ever happened to somebody else that I was working.
Yeah.
And I was like this close from just fucking calling it done. Because we're close. Me, Chad, and Brett, and all them, we were really close. And me and Izzy, we got dressed, because they were taking me to the hospital, and we went straight to the hospital. And I walked through the front doors, and Chad's mom and dad met me at the front door, come over and hugged me and said, this isn't your fault. We all know that shit happens in this business. She said, it's just a bad fucking accident. She goes, he'll be all right. We ended up with I think 10 staples, class 4 concussion, and he was out. He was out for a good 7 months, something like that.